Let's turn our attention to the final topic of this lecture, barriers to effective communication. The first barrier is silence. The absence of information, of course, is one of the greatest challenges that we face as managers. Silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty can have a negative impact on a whole host of important outcomes like job satisfaction and job performance. Another barrier is lying or misrepresenting information. Lying is common, unfortunately, but we are not great detectors of lying. The signs that we pay attention to, things like when people avert their gaze, when they pause, when they shift their posture, those things are not always signs of lying. Sometimes those behaviors happen because people are nervous or they're shy or they doubt what you're saying. Filtering refers to the deliberate manipulation of information so that the sender perceives it in a more favorable manner. For instance, some of us tell other people what we think they want to hear. We tell them that we like their new haircut, or we tell our boss that we don't need any help. Obviously, the problem with filtering is that people don't have all the information they need, and problems can become worse if we don't address them early. Selective perception occurs when the receiver selects only a part of the message to see and hear. What we perceive is influenced by our needs, motivations, experiences, and our other personal characteristics. Recall, too, that we sometimes pay more attention to information that we already agree with and ignore information that we don't agree with. We called this the confirmation bias earlier in the semester. Selective perception basically prevents us from understanding the original message. It's not surprising that emotions also influence how people send and receive messages. Extreme emotions, such as elation or misery, are most likely to hinder effective communication. In addition, people in negative moods are more likely to scrutinize messages, to read between the lines, than people in positive moods. When we are happy and things are going really well, we tend to take communication at face value. An estimated 10% of the United States population suffers from what we call communication apprehension. This means that they experience anxiety or tension when asked to communicate with other people. Maybe you have a friend who panics when asked to talk on the phone with a stranger. Studies suggest that people who have communication apprehension actually avoid situations that require frequent communication. The final topic we'll cover in this lecture is cultural barriers. First, we have barriers caused by semantics. Some words mean different things to different people, and some words do not translate across languages. Jargon and slang are typically difficult to translate. Second, there are barriers caused by word connotations. Words imply different things in different languages. So, for instance, the word independence has a positive connotation in individualistic cultures like the US, but has a negative connotation in collectivistic cultures like China. Third, there are cultural differences in nonverbal communication. Cultures vary in how tone of voice, facial expressions, hand gestures. Cultures vary in how those things are used to communicate in everyday life. In some cultures, like the US, several feet of physical distance is the norm, but in other cultures, like Italy, you can expect a hug and a kiss on the cheek nearly every time you say hello to someone.